Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now March 7th of 2023, and as we get closer to The Mandalorian Chapter 18, which by the way is really going to set things up for Bo-Katan and the story of the Darksaber and a whole lot of more things happening with that episode. We also have John and Dave in preparation for Star Wars Celebration taking place next month. That's going to unveil new details about the Ahsoka Tano series and a whole lot more on the horizon as well. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, given that the Acolyte show has been going through a lot of changes, setbacks, delays, and going through a lot of different problematic situations that were sparked by Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland, Disney's higher-ups, the board members, Bob Chapek, or should I say Iger, who also had Chapek working on the Acolyte at the time. They've been going through a lot of problems with the show too, trying to regulate a couple of things, trying to change certain aspects of the series, and that's why we're not getting the show in 2023, as we were originally supposed to get it by the holiday season. It's now actually slated for spring of 2024, and it could even go to the summer if they keep on falling into more delays. Now, with that being, of course, put out there, one thing about the Acolyte is that Kathleen Kennedy has been supplying the Disney board members a lot of test footage of the opening sequences, the ending sequences of the show, as well as various scenes that take place between. So one of which has a lot to do with the ending scene of the Acolyte TV show, and Disney's not really all that happy about it. They're really trying to figure out whether or not they want to change things around, and something about it has to do with Rian Johnson. We're going to tap into this in just a second, alright? So, with that being, of course, said and put out there, one thing about this, of course, with the Acolyte series, given that it is going through near constant changes week by week by Disney's higher-ups, since Kennedy has created a long list of issues for the show, recently Disney was shown more test footage provided by Kennedy for the ending of the Acolyte that consists of 5 different scenes, one of which was shown to the Disney higher-ups, and they weren't all that impressed as it holds some tie-ins to The Last Jedi by Rian Johnson. Now, part of the ending scene of the Acolyte that Disney is now trying to change and or erase involves a full-on scene where it focuses on the Jedi who retreat from a battle against the Sith warriors on a world called Ragnata. The scene focuses on 3 Jedi Masters that travel to the world of Ahch-To, the same world that Luke isolated himself on in The Last Jedi, to find the first Jedi Temple and the Tree Library in search of the Journal of the Wills. Now, they land on a nearby landing site similar to how Rey did with the Falcon. Their ship is said to heavily mimic a specific starfighter straight from the Old Republic era. We're not quite sure exactly which one, however. The shot focuses on the rear of the actual Tree Library, and the Jedi opening a door to that library that was not seen in The Last Jedi. So, one thing I do want to point out is that yes, there is no door per se in the Tree Library for The Last Jedi, indicating that things have changed over the course of hundreds of years, obviously, for Ahch-To. Now, the thing about this that I think a lot of fans may not like is how this is really connecting things up with The Last Jedi and bringing back a fan-noticed, location that's going to be so familiar that a lot of fans associate with The Last Jedi that may very well drive a lot of fans away. Now, look, I get it, it's a location. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is going to be a reminder of The Last Jedi in and of itself, and Disney's very much standoffish about that right now. I talked about this a couple of days ago, but we also know that, everything related to the Acolyte opening sequence, it does also involve a lot of things to do with the Jedi and the Sith, and how the mythology of Star Wars really is the big focus for all of this. Now, on top of this, alright, this also leads them to a series of books. There are more books seen in the Tree Library in this moment than what fans saw in The Last Jedi here. We're on the Jedi, of course, sequence where the Jedi Masters grab a specific book and replaces it with another one. One of the lines of dialogue provided from the Jedi is said to retcon Rian Johnson's lore of the first Jedi Temple, where the Jedi Master says a line of dialogue around the lines of, "There is more than one." indicating that there are more tree libraries across the entire galaxy. Now, let me just kind of like focus on this for a second. So, basically what's happening here is that not only are they going back to Ahch-To, but they're also retconning or changing a specific piece of canon about the tree library. Now, given, of course, one of the Jedi characters delivers a line of dialogue stating something around the lines of, "There's more than one," indicating that this may, and just may, not be the first Jedi Temple after all. And I think that this is why Disney is having a big problem with this, because this single-handedly just completely messes with Luke Skywalker's journey to Ahch-To, and why he was there to begin with, besides himself isolating himself as a Jedi, right? Now, could this very well be a similar scenario as to why Luke did not invest all of his time into the books? It's possible. You know, who knows? It's really a confusing mess, to say the least, and I don't know why Kathleen and Leslye would want to go back to Ahch-To to begin with, because they know how many fans really are going to associate this with the disastrous The Last Jedi that really caused a great divide between fans. But like I said before, guys, I know and understand fully it's just a location, it's not necessarily like a storytelling technique from Rian, but it's still a reminder that I think is going to cause a little bit of a stir-up between fans. Now, this is exactly why Kathleen Kennedy wanted Rian Johnson to direct an episode or two in the beginning stages of The Acolyte, which never ended up happening. He's busy with his Knives Out and Murder Mystery universe. That most likely is why she wanted Rian on board, to take care of this particular episode involving Ahch-To. Alright, so let's get on to the next thing. Now, it's teased that these Jedi, this is where it gets a little crazy, are actually not Jedi, but rather Sith who take the authentic Journal of the Wills and replace it with a phony one, in an attempt to create a false code for future Jedi generations. Disney is, however, looking to completely changing this ending, as it makes little to no sense to all of them. So, basically, the setup to this scene is used as like a ruse to trick fans into thinking that these are Jedi taking care of the books and the Journal of the Wills and stuff like that, and actually putting it out there that these are actually Sith taking control of the Jedi code, or altering the code to kind of just mislead future generations. Now this, of course, again, would destroy Luke's whole reason of staying there and guarding the first Jedi Temple, which is why Disney wants to rid of this scene completely and just put it on the back burner and just erase it. And you know what? I'm with them on that. I think that they should do that. I think that it's in a big attempt. It may sound like Kathleen Kennedy's trying too hard here, but this doesn't do any kind of service for any kind of Star Wars fan out there. You know, the fact that it's going to basically not only retcon Rian Johnson, not that I support The Last Jedi all that much, really, but it's not only that, but it's also how it kind of devalues the reason why Luke spends so much time there. So anyways, guys, you know, fill me in below in the comments what you guys have to say about all of this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.